Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to September 2024 astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. On September 3rd, we're going to have a new moon in the sign of Virgo, which is going to be opposite Saturn. We're also going to have an eclipse next month on September 17th, to be specific, in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees, which is going to be conjunct the ruler of the eclipse, Neptune. I just want to make a small clarification that the eclipse is going to be on the 17th and not on the 25th, as I say 25 in some of your signs. I just read my notes wrong, but the eclipse is actually on the 17th. In between these 2 days, we're going to have some important transits, we're going to have some squares, but also some trines. We're going to have a trine between Venus and Jupiter, the two benefics, which are sitting in the signs of Libra and Gemini. So it can be a very prosperous for a lot of us. So I speak about these transits and a few more on this video. So before I start, just keep in mind that I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. Without further ado, let's start now with the 12 zodiac signs. Hello dear Aries, Aries Suns, Moons and Risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology prediction. Aries, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in the sign of Virgo, which is at 11 degrees in your 6th house. However, it will be opposite Saturn in Pisces, which is sitting at 16 degrees at this time in your 12th house. This may talk about new beginnings and new things that need to be addressed associated with your physical health, with your physical body, that this new moon is highlighting. At the same time, though, this opposition is creating some friction here, which could indicate that there are some obstacles that need to be addressed. This new moon can put a spotlight on those obstacles, those challenges that could be associated with things that you're doing behind the scenes, associated with your physical health, with your workout routines, and taking care of your physical body. For others of you, it could mean that you want to have a new beginning in your physical health, again in your physical body, but it could be that maybe some obstacle associated with some mental health issue could get on the way, and this new moon is putting a spotlight to that. Now, for others of you, if you are in the working industry and you have coworkers, you may be wanting to start afresh with them, start in a new direction, but it could be that maybe some hidden enemy in the 12th house could be doing something that is delaying things, or that's putting some type of obstacle with this new moon. The 6th house is also the house of simply being busy, of having to run a lot of errands, but it could be that you feel like you want to rest more and spend more time in solitude, maybe even going on vacation. So it could be that you feel like you want to rest instead of be so busy, and so there is some friction being created here with a new moon, that you want to be resting, or there is a desire, a need to rest in your physical body, but a lot of things need to be addressed on a daily basis, a lot of errands to run and just being on the go. On this same day, Mars, your ruler in Gemini, is going to be in the 3rd house, squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 12th house. This may talk about a need and desire to remove some kind of illusion associated with your 12th house matters. It could be that you gain some clarity, but after some tension has been created here. Now, this could only mean that you may need to take action to remove some kind of illusion associated with your thinking patterns and also communication patterns. It could also be that you feel very driven and passionate to address something that could be bothering you, with the 3rd house being the house of communication. However, you might not have that clarity with Neptune in the 12th house in a tense aspect. Moving forward, on September 5th, we have Mars, your ruler, entering Cancer in your 4th house for the entire month of September. Mars also rules your 8th house. Now, this can talk about shifting your focus for you, Aries, in your 4th house matters. It could be that you need to help or be there for a family member. It could be that your focus needs to be in your real estate, your place of residence, your house, your partner, the city that you're living in. For others of you, it could be that you maybe considering moving to somewhere else, or you are thinking about it, your focus is simply in those things. With Mars also being the ruler of your 8th house, it could be that shared resources could be the topic of this Mars transit in your 4th house. Shared resources that you have with a family member that is taking your focus here, and you need to address maybe some issues or be talking with a family member. It could also be that you feel very driven to make money and work towards getting a new place and moving to a new apartment. For others of you, the 8th house is also the house of fears, of self-sabotaging patterns. So it could be that you are addressing these things with a family member. You feel comfortable expressing those fears, the shadow side of you in your home environment too. Even you may ask the support of family members, or to just feel comfortable in expressing these things in your home environment where you live. What I really love about this transit of Mars is that it's going to be in a sextile to Mercury in Virgo, which is sitting in your 6th house from September 10th to September 15th. And Mercury in Virgo is in its own sign. It feels very, very comfortable here. Mars, on the other hand, is at its fall in Cancer, so it does not feel as comfortable. However, this sextile here could be helping a lot of you Aries to have that mental clarity to address things that you need to address, especially associated with 6th house matters. It could be that you may have that drive and push to address things in your home, in your work routine, in your work projects with your colleagues, but also to think or rethink your healthy habits, the foods that you're intaking, your workout routines, and to also have that clarity and push and drive to run errands and not get tired. Again, Mars is not that strong in the sign of Cancer, but Mercury in the sign of Virgo, it is in its domicile, and it's definitely giving you the mental clarity to address these things with determination and a lot of detail. Now, moving forward, on September 15, Venus is at 20 degrees in the sign of Libra in your 7th house, in a trine to Jupiter at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 3rd house. I absolutely love this. These are the two benefics communicating with each other in the sky during this time. And Venus is strong here. It is in the sign of Libra. It is in its domicile, which really talks about having the ability to have some communication with a partner to where you can heal some things with them. You can fix some things with them. The 3rd house, where Jupiter is having this beautiful aspect to Venus, is the house of communication. So definitely here, a lot of opportunity to amend something with a partner, being a romantic partner or a business partner. This transit can also mean that you may have the blessing from God, from the universe, to achieve some type of contract during this time, some type of collaboration that you've been wanting to have, because these two benefics are coming together to have the necessary clarity, the wisdom, and the right thinking process to make this come through. This can also talk about just having a great time with a partner, a romantic or a business partner during this time. But please remember that it is important to take action with trines, because trines are so subtle, the energy flows so easily that sometimes we take things for granted. So keep that in mind. If you want to have some kind of result associated with the 3rd house and 7th house matters, please remember to take action with this beautiful transit that we have. This can also talk about personal finances with a partner, with Venus also being the ruler of your 2nd house. But again, communications here are flowing easily, and you may come to good terms with somebody associated with these things. And on September 25 now, we have an eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees, and this eclipse will be with Neptune, and at a wider degree is going to be with Saturn. The eclipse and Saturn are sitting 10 degrees away from each other. For some of you, you might not feel it as much. However, I'm still going to mention it in this video. What could this eclipse mean for you, Aries? It is happening in your 12th house and can really talk about removing some kind of illusion associated with your spiritual routines. Removing illusions and deceptions and confusion associated with your 12th house matters, associated maybe with foreign lands. If you reside away from your hometown, then there could be maybe some illusions associated with this place that could be removed with this eclipse in the 12th house. This may also talk about optimism and hope coming back into your life, because the things with eclipses is that they remove things from our lives, but they also add new things. They are quite karmic in nature, quite surprising in nature. So with Neptune here, it could be that you may feel optimistic about living abroad, or optimistic in your spiritual life, in your daily routines, in projects that you may be even doing behind the scenes with this eclipse. It could also be that this eclipse brings healing into your life. It removes obstacles, or the other way, to where it brings obstacles and challenges that you need to overcome and address during this eclipse, to maybe they help you become more mature related to your spiritual matters, related to your mental health routines, and also associated with spirituality, the way how you pray, the way how you meditate, you do yogas, and all these things to connect with other dimensions. This is kind of the prediction for you, Aries, with the month of September. I really hope it turns out to be good for you. Hopefully it will be a bit easier than August was, but please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Tauruses, Taurus suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology predictions. Tauruses, we start the month with a new moon in Virgo, which is happening on September 3rd at 11 degrees in your 5th house, which in fact will be opposite Saturn in Pisces, sitting at 16 degrees in your 11th house. This talks about a desire to have some kind of new beginning, maybe in your romantic world, in your romantic life. However, there could be some long-term goal and dream that is just not accomplished yet, that you could be really working very hard on, that could get on the way with this new beginning. This could also mean that an authority figure is not allowing you to meet this person, this romantic person in your life. The 5th house is also the house of children, and it could be that maybe they have some new beginning coming up in their life. However, there is something with your long-term dreams and goals that could be clashing with it, that you can't have this new beginning with one of your children. The 5th house is also the house of entertainment, and again, there could be a desire to do something fun, something that you've been wanting to do in a while now, but your focus is shifted so much into something that you want to be achieving in the long run that gets kind of in the way to have this new beginning in your 5th house matters. The 11th house, where Saturn is sitting here, is also the house of your friends and acquaintances. So it could be that you want to go out, have fun, entertain yourself, but maybe a friend of yours or a group of friends is not on the same page with you. They don't want to be doing this. They don't want to go out and entertain themselves in the way that you want. The 11th house is also the house of networks, of acquaintances. So it could be that you want to start some new beginning in your 5th house matters, but you're not receiving that support from the people that know you. The 5th house of the new moon is also the house of creativity, or artistic abilities, of hobbies, things that we love to create. So it could be that you want to start to create something, but again, there's some clash here, maybe with your groups of friends, maybe with some authority figure, or simply with the long-term dream and goal that you may have for the future that is maybe delaying this new beginning, or making you realize and understand that there needs to be some maturity here before you have your new beginning in your 5th house matters. On the same day, we have Mars in Gemini in your 2nd house, squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 11th house. The There's a lot of focus being put in your second house matters, in your finances, in your self-confidence, in your possessions, for a lot of your Tauruses. However, there is some illusion that needs to be removed from your 11th house matters, from your friendships and group acquaintances, groups of friends, networks, but also long-term dreams and goals for the future. You may be very driven at this time, Tauruses, to increase your personal income, but there is some illusion that needs to be removed here, some confusion, or simply shifting your perspective into being more optimistic when it comes to your second house matters. Let's not forget that Jupiter and Saturn are still in a square at a wider degree during this time, so you could feel quite frustrated when it comes to increasing your income because there could be some obstacles. And so Mars here is giving you that extra push and drive to try to improve your finances or increase your self-confidence. But again, there is some illusion that needs to be removed, some confusion and structures that need to be built during this new moon. On the next day, September 4th, Venus, your chart ruler, is going to be conjunct the South Node in your 6th house. And this can talk about people from past life coming back into your life during this time. It could be that you could meet somebody from your past life, or simply from your past, and if you don't believe in past lives. But they could you could meet them on a daily basis. You could meet them at work. It could be that there's some karmic situation that comes back into your life, and it does not have to be bad. It could also be good, because karma sometimes is good. We could have done good things, good deeds in our past lives, or simply in the past, in this lifetime, that could come back to us. And for you, Tauruses, it could be in your 6th house matters. You could be dealing with some health situation that could be either on the good side, to where you heal from something, or to where you need to address some old health issue during this transit with Venus conjunct the South Node. This can also bring romantic partners on your day-to-day life. Maybe when you go to the grocery store, when you run your errands. It could be that you run into somebody you used to date, that you used to love, that you used to be in a romantic partnership with. Venus is in its domicile here. It's quite strong, so there could be some good interactions during this time for a lot of you Tauruses. On September 15 now, Venus, your ruler again, is at 20 degrees in the sign of Libra in its domicile, quite strong, in your 6th house, creating a positive aspect to Jupiter in a trine, which is sitting at 20 degrees in the sign of Gemini in your 2nd house. I absolutely love this transit. All of us are going to feel this transit, but especially you Tauruses, with Venus being your chart ruler. We have the two benefics coming together here, and this really talks about feeling quite comfortable in your own skin, having the right self-confidence to maybe interact with people on your daily basis, to interact with your co-workers, to build some harmonious relationships with them, to feel comfortable expressing yourself freely. This can also talk about a door that could be opening when it comes to increasing your personal income and finances at your work, through a work project, at your job, if you are in the workforce, of course. This may also talk about feeling comfortable and grateful for the possessions that you have that help you accomplish your tasks, your errands on a daily basis with this transit. I absolutely love this. This also talks about just feeling happy and grateful and optimistic in your daily routines, in your day-to-day life, getting up in the morning and having your cup of coffee, just feeling happy and grateful and blissful for what you have. And I really love this transit because we really, really need this after the month of August that was, more on the intense side. Moving forward, on September 25, Tauruses, we have an important eclipse happening in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees, and it will be within Neptune, and at a wider degree is going to be with Saturn. These two, the eclipse and Saturn are sitting 10 degrees away from each other. Some of you may not feel it, but I will still describe it on on this video because, it could, some of you could definitely feel Saturn also with this eclipse. But what I love about it, before I start to analyze it, is that it is receiving positive aspects from Uranus in Taurus in your first house, and also from Pluto in Capricorn in your ninth house. This eclipse is kind of creating a kite in the sky, to where the moon and the sun are opposite from each other, as with every full moon and full moon eclipse. But we have beautiful aspects being created here with this eclipse, with Neptune, with Uranus, Pluto. I really like this. This can talk about a lot of illusions and confusion being removed from your life when it comes to your long-term dreams and goals for the future. For a lot of you Tauruses, this eclipse could give you more clarity when it comes to where you want to be in your life in the future. This can also talk about illusions and disappointments being removed from your life when it comes to your friends, acquaintances. You can have an aha moment here on the way how you approach to your friends, with Saturn building and rebuilding and adding obstacles and then removing obstacles in your 11th house matters of your friends and acquaintances. Now this eclipse could really remove some obstacles and challenges associated with these things. And also confusion. Again, this eclipse is with Neptune and also with Saturn, but the ruler of the eclipse is Neptune, so this is quite strong. This is very, very important. The other thing with eclipses is that they are very unpredictable, so they could go both ways. Yes, these things could be removed from your life, but they might also be added, which means that there could be some challenges that need to be addressed with this full moon associated with your long-term dreams and goals for the future, but also with your group of friends and acquaintances. It could also be that this full moon maybe add some optimism, dreams and hopes for the future when it comes to achieving your goals, when it comes to approaching your friends. Maybe you decide to give them the benefit of the doubt and try to make more friends. It could go both ways. This eclipse could also remove people from your life, from your acquaintances. Unfortunately, could bring the death of a friend. God forbid, I hope not. That will heavily depend on your personal chart. This is just a general reading, but could definitely be as a possibility for some of you, Pisces. This eclipse could bring, again, optimism. We have support here from Uranus in your first house. You may feel very, driven and optimistic to have these changes in your life, but you're also receiving support from Pluto, the planet of transformation, which is sitting in the last degree of your ninth house matters, of your belief systems, legal matters, foreign travels. So, it could be that this full moon is more on the positive side, or, this eclipse is more on the positive side, but it could go both ways. Don't forget that eclipses are very unpredictable. They are full moons in steroids. Anyway, please let me know, Tauruses, how things are going for you. I hope you have a lighter month than August, definitely. So please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Geminis, Gemini suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology prediction. Geminis, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in the sign of Virgo at 11 degrees in your 4th house. However, it is opposite Saturn in Pisces, sitting at 16 degrees in your 10th house. This is a very important new moon for a lot of you Geminis because it is happening in an angular house. There could be some new beginnings in your household, in your house, with your family members. However, there are some obstacles here associated maybe with your career and public reputation and how you're known into the world. This new moon is having a lot of you wanting to start afresh, wanting to start new, maybe with some relationship with a family member, maybe even move to a different apartment, a different house, a different city, a different country. However, again, maybe your job is not letting you, your work is not letting you. The reputation that you have in that place, in that certain place, is somehow blocking you or challenging or delaying things. I'm not saying that this new moon means that things won't happen. I'm just saying that maybe there are some obstacles here in place. Saturn here in the 10th house wants a lot of you Geminis to build structures, to be practical in your approach when it comes to your career and public reputation. It could also be that there can even be an authoritative figure in your life that is somehow delaying things for you when it comes to this new beginnings that you want to have in your 4th house matters. The 4th house is also the house of our emotional world. So for a lot of you, you may have done some reflection and you want to start afresh in the way how you look at your life, the way how you look at your individuality, your partnerships, also your career, your household. Again, this new moon is at an angular house, so it can activate multiple things. However, again, there is some blockage here or some challenge here in your inner world also. It could be that you may need to be grounded, may need to be more down to earth in your approach when it comes to these new beginnings associated with your 4th house matters, with your household, family dynamics, real estate again, and also your place of birth, your ancestry, and also your mother. Make sure that you check on your mothers also with this transit, because they may want to start something new, they may want to start something afresh, but it could be that there could be something blocking their way and maybe they need your emotional support at this time. On this same day, on September 3rd, we have Mars in your sign, in your 1st house, square Neptune in Pisces in your 10th house. Again, there is some career activation here. Neptune in the 10th, in that last degree, could really be causing some confusion, maybe illusions, deception also. So there's some friction being created here. You may feel very driven to take a certain route, to take a certain direction, again, especially with this new moon. However, there is some tension being created here with a lack of clarity. For a lot of you Geminis, you really want to have some clarity associated with your career and individuality. Now, square also asks for action, so you may very well take an action to be able to understand where you need to be career-wise, where you need to be your status-wise, how you want to be known into the world, and what your mission is. You may also lean to spirituality, to prayers, to meditation, to feel that inspiration and excitement about the future, again, about your career and your 10th house matters. On September 4th until September 9th, Mercury, your ruler, is going to be in Leo in your 3rd house. However, it's going to create a tense aspect to Uranus in Taurus in your 12th house. I felt like this is an important transit for you Gemini, since Mercury is your ruler, but also the ruler of your 4th house. So again, it impacts 2 important areas of your life. But Mercury in your 3rd house, in this tense aspect to Uranus, which rules your 9th house, can talk about maybe some kind of irritation in your communication with other people, especially associated with belief systems that you may have that you don't agree with others with and they could very well be behind the scenes with Uranus in the 12th house. It could also be that maybe somebody that you are not sure who it is, somebody behind the scenes could be causing some friction into your life to where you don't really understand where it's coming from, but you feel that intensity and mental irritation. Be careful here to take care of your nervous system, to rest enough. Uranus in the 12th house probably does not let you rest as much as you should, so keep that in mind, to try to even spend time by yourself and try to relax maybe the racing thoughts also with this transit. The 3rd house is also the house of sales and writing and publishing, also short distance travel. So if you are in any of these industries, or if you happen to have a small business, then there could be something that you need to address behind the scenes that takes you by surprise. You were not really expecting it, but you need to address it and kind of work towards something to be able to move this project forward or move your business forward. The 3rd house is also the house of younger siblings and neighbors. Be careful not to get angry with them with this transit, and to like avoid irritation. Also, again, this transit is from September 4th to September 9th. Now, moving forward, we do have a beautiful, beautiful aspect this month on September 15th, exactly, between Venus, which is sitting at 20 degrees in the sign of Libra, making a beautiful aspect to your sign. And Venus, it is in the 5th house, but it's also making a trine aspect to Jupiter at 20 degrees in your 1st house. And I absolutely love this. This can make a lot of you Geminis be a little more lighthearted, to kind of enjoy life a bit more, to entertain yourself, to have fun, to let yourself be a bit more free, to dream a little bit more about the future, and also to be happy and joyful to be around people. It could also be that this transit helps you heal and come to good terms with one of your children, if you have a child, or you could feel quite flirtatious. You could feel excited to talk to people, to talk to, you know, a romantic potential partner during this time. For others of you, it could be that you may feel comfortable expressing yourself through art, through your creative and artistic abilities with this transit. However, please remember that this is a trine, a very good aspect. However, the energy flows so easily over here that sometimes we forget to take the necessary steps. So please make sure to take some action so that you can make the best out of this transit, because this is a beautiful one. And Venus here is quite comfortable, it's quite strong in Libra, it is in its domicile. So, you know, you could reap rewards of some creative work that you may have done in the past, or, you know, if you haven't, then you may feel very easy to be able to do so. And the 5th house is also the house of like getting attention, being like the center stage. So for a lot of you, if you happen to be with other people, especially with friends or around some romantic potential partner or around your children, you may feel very comfortable to express yourself freely around them. And Jupiter rules your 7th and your 10th house. So this is very beautiful for you. This transit could fix something related to your partnerships, could fix something related to your career and public reputation. You could get some good news during this time, or you can just move forward with something in your collaborations, agreements, partnerships, and career and public reputation. It's just a wonderful day. I can't wait for September 15. But moving forward to the other important event we have in September, exactly on September 25, we have an eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees, and this eclipse is going to be with Neptune. Neptune is also the ruler of the eclipse, but it's also conjunct. It's like only 3 degrees away from the eclipse, and it is in the sign of Pisces, and for you it is in your 10th house. This is a very important eclipse for you, Geminis. It could be that this eclipse causes an authority figure to be removed from your life. It could be that some obstacle is also removed, maybe some kind of illusion, some kind of deception or confusion associated with your career, with your public status, public reputation, with your mission in this life could be removed with this eclipse. On the other hand, though, it could be that with eclipses, they are quite unpredictable. They could go both ways. So it could be that something new shows up in your life that makes you feel confused about your direction. So it could go both ways with the eclipse. Now, Saturn is also sitting in this house for you. It is 10 degrees away from the eclipse. So Saturn will still be there, and this eclipse could just mean that some obstacle is removed from your life when it comes to your career and public reputation, public status also. Or it could be that something shows up to where it requires you to be more mature and to take practical steps when it comes to your 10th house matters. This is happening in an angular house, so you may as well have all of these changes in your home environment, in your 4th house. Again, there could be illusion and deception, there are lies that could be exposed also in your 4th house matters, in your home environment, with your family members, but also with your authority figures and also your career. And you may feel also changes in your 1st house and also in your partnerships with this eclipse. What I like about it, though, is that it's receiving positive aspects from Uranus in Taurus, which is in your 12th house, and also from from Pluto in Capricorn in your 8th house. So Geminis, you have the power and the strength and the support to make some kind of important transformation, sudden transformation, an orthodox transformation with this eclipse. Again, it could go both ways. Eclipses are quite intense. They're like full moons as steroids, but they could bring, they could either add something into your life or remove, and they might as well be associated with Neptunian qualities or Saturn qualities during this time. But this is what I have for you for this month. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Cancers, Cancer Suns, Moons and Risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology predictions. Cancers, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in the sign of Virgo at 11 degrees in your 3rd house. This new moon is going to be opposite Saturn in Pisces, sitting at 16 degrees in your 9th house. For a lot of you Cancers, you may be wanting to take a new approach in the way how you think and the way how you talk to yourself. However, there are some limiting belief systems that could be getting on the way during this new moon. It could also be that you want to have a fresh start in the way how you communicate with others, but again, there are some limiting belief systems that could delay things for you. The 3rd house is also the house of small business, and so if you've been wanting to have a new initiation for your small business, then again, there could be either some limiting belief systems that get on the way, or even legal matters for some of you. The 3rd house is also the house of younger siblings, so it could be that they are wanting to have a new start in their life. However, again, there is something blocking in the 9th house matters. That could be associated with legal matters, could be associated with limiting belief systems, or even foreign travels. Maybe one of your siblings want to travel abroad, but there are some more documentations that need to be uploaded or more details that need to be taken into account with this transit. If you are in the sales or writing or publishing industry, then this new moon can talk about you wanting to initiate some things associated with these industries. However, again, there could be some delays and challenges before you can initiate these things. The 3rd house is also the house of short distance travel, and so you may be wanting to go on a short distance trip. However, there could be again some legal matters that could get on the way, or some belief systems, or it could even be that some mentor in your life is asking you to have some more maturity, some more structure associated with your plans and the things that you have a strong belief in, to be able to have this new beginning in your 3rd house matters. Generally speaking, the 3rd house is very much associated with communication and thinking patterns, and so Saturn may be asking you to be more careful, more mature in the way how you come across to other people, and the way how you speak and talk to them. On this same day, Cancers, Mars in Gemini in your 12th house is squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 9th house. Again, there is some tension here being created when it comes to your belief systems. Neptune in the 9th house could have made some of you maybe a bit delulu when it comes to your belief systems. And so there could be something behind the scenes that is making you address these kinds of illusions in your 9th house matters. Mars in the 12th house can also talk about having to talk or even argue with somebody behind the scenes, maybe some hidden enemy, to remove some deceits or confusion associated with belief systems or communications that you've had with them, because Neptune in the 9th is also aspecting the 3rd house of communications. So during this new moon, it does not mean that these new beginnings are not going to happen. It could just indicate that there could be delays. Saturn is asking for structures, for maturity, for grounding and practicality to be able to have an enduring new beginning in your 3rd house matters. Moving forward, Cancers, on September 4th, Venus is going to be conjunct the South Node in the sign of Libra at 6 degrees in your 4th house. This talks about having to take some action, maybe in your real estate, in your house, in your apartment, wherever you live in. It could be that you may be receiving money during this time. That is a bit karmic in nature. It doesn't have to be bad. It could also be good, because this could just indicate that you are receiving rewards for your past deeds. This can also talk about even meeting a romantic partner, an old romantic partner in the place that you reside in. Obviously, that's the case for a few of you, but definitely could be as a scenario. This transit can talk about having to address something associated with your real estate, having to take some action associated with it. That is, again, karmic in nature and needs to be addressed now. Venus here is quite strong, is quite powerful. It is in its own sign, in the sign of Libra, and it rules. The sign rules the 4th house, but also your 11th house, Cancer. So it could also be for some of you that some long-term dream and goal is now being accomplished with this conjunction, because it is karmic in nature. You are supposed to receive this accomplishment in long-term dreams and plans. It could also be that you may be meeting with an old friend, an old acquaintance in the environment of your house, maybe spending more time with them. Or it could simply be that you are coming in good terms with your emotional world, and doing so in a peaceful way, even coming to terms with your past lives either, and just feeling peaceful and accepting of whatever has happened in the past, and kind of deciding to move forward with your life as Venus leaves the South Node point. Now, moving forward, we do have a beautiful, beautiful aspect this month on September 15. Venus is at 20 degrees in Libra in your 4th house, trining Jupiter at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 12th house. I absolutely love this. This talks about feeling peaceful in your home environment, accepting things that you need to accept and move on and heal from them. This can talk about coming into good terms when it comes to the past, when it comes to the place that you have been residing in, your house, your real estate, your apartment, your city, the country that you live in, and kind of moving on. These two benefics coming together is just great. It talks about feeling peaceful, especially in the inner world for you Cancers, because the 4th house is the house of emotions, of our internal world. This may also talk about taking some different steps when it comes to your spirituality, and feeling more comfortable expressing whatever you believe in your household, in your home environment. It can also talk about foreign lands. If you've been wanting to go somewhere else, live somewhere else, then you may now be able to do so, because you're coming to good terms with the place that you're currently residing in, and there's some green line associated with 12th house, with going somewhere, living somewhere far, or simply going on a vacation. And Jupiter rules your 9th house, so again, there could be coming to good terms with belief systems, with also foreign travels, especially with Jupiter being the ruler of the 9th house of foreign travels, and sitting in the 12th house of foreign lands. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may be receiving the green light to go somewhere else. I absolutely love this transit. Just please keep in mind that trines are very subtle. They are very easy energy, and sometimes we take for granted whatever the trines are in our chart. So to get the best out of this transit, please take action. Remember to take action related to your 4th house matters and 12th house matters, so that you can get the best out of this transit. On September 25, Cancers, we have the eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees. The ruler of this eclipse is Neptune, and Neptune is conjunct the eclipse. Neptune is sitting only 3 degrees away from the eclipse point. So this is happening in your 9th house, and it could mean that for some of you Cancers, you have some drastic changes when it comes to your belief systems, when it comes to the way how you see the world, your research work, and just the way how you think about anything in life. I have a very good friend who's Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, and he has changed his perspective of life in the most drastic way I've ever seen. So this can talk again about changing the way how you perceive the world in a very drastic way. Now, eclipses are quite fated in nature. They are quite strong. They can go in two different ways. They can either add things to our lives or remove things from our lives. And the ninth house is the house of legal matters. So it could be that this eclipse could bring a legal matter that you need to address and take care of, or that it could bring the completion of it and the removal of it from your life. The effects of the eclipse don't have to happen on the day of. They could happen up to 6 months after this eclipse. So keep that in mind. That could be a scenario for some of you Cancers. The ninth house, as I spoke earlier, is also the house of foreign travels, of visas, and international travel. So it could be that you have the opportunity now to go somewhere abroad, or it could be that if you've been wanting to go abroad, maybe something happens and you're not able to at this time. The ninth house is the house of mentors, of gurus, and so it could be that this eclipse brings someone important to your life where they can guide you and teach you a lot of things, or it could be that somebody that has been doing so is removed from your life during this eclipse. Now, Saturn is also sitting in this house that is 10 degrees away from the eclipse. So it could be that obstacles are removed with this eclipse associated with your ninth house matters. But there can definitely be confusion and illusions removed from your ninth house matters also with this eclipse. This is what I have for you, Cancers. Just clarification that the eclipse is going to be on September 17. So keep that in mind, but the effects could be felt up to 6 months after this day. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you Cancers, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Leos, Leo suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology predictions. Leo, on September 3rd we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees in your second house. This new moon is opposing Saturn in Pisces, sitting at 16 degrees in your 8th house. There is a lot of focus, Leos, in your personal finances, but also in your shared resources. With this new moon in your second house, you may have this want and desire to increase your income, to get a raise, to get a new job, to add more resources when it comes to profiting from them. However, there could be some obstacles here, maybe with self-sabotaging patterns and fears that you can have within yourself, Leos. That is because Saturn is sitting in your 8th house, which deals with these things. The 8th house is the house of fears, the house of past traumas, is the house of self-undoing sometimes. And so there could be a new beginning, a new desire and want to increase your personal income. However, there could be some obstacles that need to be removed here first. The 8th house is also the house of shared finances and resources, and it could be that you want to have a new beginning when it comes to the way how you have money or how you make money. However, there is some maturity required in the way how you handle shared resources that you may have with a partner or with a family member. The 8th house is also the house of taxes, and so there could be some taxes that need to be paid during this time. That kind of delays an increase in your personal finances and income. The 8th house is also the house of other people's money. So if you are in an industry that manages other people's money, such as an advisor, a consultant, insurances, taxes also, then there could be some obstacles that need to be removed in your business, or it could be that there are some delays. There's a need for maturity and structure and practicality in the way how you go about your business, your clients, or your duties and responsibilities in this industry. With this new moon opposite Saturn, it does not mean that the new beginning won't happen. It could just indicate there could be delays with this new beginning, or there is a need for maturity, structure, and respecting even your 8th house matters, which deals again with shared resources, finances, removing self-sabotaging patterns, fears, and also being responsible with taxes, insurances, and things like that. On the same day, Mars in Gemini is in your 11th house and it's squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 8th house. There is a drive here for a lot of you Leos to go after some long-term dream and goal that you have for the future. However, there is some confusion happening in your shared resources department. This square here can talk about a need for action when it comes to realigning your shared resources and finances towards achieving a long-term and dream and goal that you have for the future. Neptune in the 8th house could also bring a deceit, maybe an even lies associated with shared resources that you may have with a partner or a family member that is not sitting well with some long-term dream and goal that you may have. Now, Neptune, also represents healing. It represents compassion also. So it could be that there is a need for some of you Leos to heal your fears, your self-sabotaging patterns, to take a more compassionate approach in the way how you feel within yourself when it comes to your past traumas, so that you can be realigned with your long-term dreams and goals for the future. The 11th house where Mars is sitting on is also the house of friends and acquaintances. So it could be that for some of you, if you've lended money to a friend, you could discover or find out that maybe there were some dishonesty here. Or it could indicate that you need to be more compassionate about this person. It could go both ways, but with the tense aspect here, with the square, there's a need for action here. There is a need to do something so that you can be more realigned with your long-term dreams and goals for the future, and also in your friendship circles, to be able to feel comfortable expressing yourself freely. With this aspect, it could also be that a friend triggers something within some of you Leos, something associated with confusion from the past, maybe loneliness also, that could have caused traumas in your life before. And there's this tense aspect here indicating, that could be a possibility for some of you. Now, moving forward on September 13, the Sun, which is your ruler, is sitting in Virgo at 20 degrees in your 2nd house, and it's creating a tense aspect to Jupiter, which is in your 11th house. So there is a need to focus on finances. The 2nd and the 11th houses are financial houses. There could be a desire to realign your personal income, how much money you're making, to your long-term dreams and goals that you may have for the future. Or it could be that this transit just brings a lot of dissatisfaction when it comes to how much money you're making. You may be realizing that maybe you're not making as much money as you wanted to. But the 2nd house is also the house of your self-confidence, of your values, and it could mean that you maybe don't feel as satisfied with the inner work that you've done associated with your self-worth, that maybe there is some action that needs to be taken here so that you can realign your values, the way how you look at the world, in a more profound way where it's more aligned with where you see yourself in the long run. This can also talk about identifying with your personal resources and finances in a way that you are really looking to expand in your long term when it comes to your finances. So for some of you, this transit can indicate that maybe you are taking the net worth too personal. You're taking the net worth equal to self-worth, and so this transit can indicate that there is either a need here to reassess your plans for the future, to be more down to earth when it comes to who you want to be as a person. In your 11th house matters, in your long-term dreams and goals that you have. This can also indicate that maybe there is a friend or an acquaintance that attacks your identity when it comes to your personal finances. That could also try to put you down when it comes to how much money you're making. I feel like this is like very specific. It could be the case for some of you, but definitely as a scenario. Jupiter also rules your 8th house of shared resources, so it could be that this is a person, a partner or a family member that you have shared resources with, that triggers this kind of conflict in you or with you. You could have some discussions associated with where you want to be when it comes to your shared resources and finances, how much money you want to be making and contributing in your shared resources, but overall where you see yourself in the long run with this transit. And this is fairly short as a transit. It could be felt for around 3 days before, 3 days after the transit. But what I'm really excited about is the next one that we have, the next important transit happening on September 15, between Venus, which is sitting at 20 degrees in Libra in your 3rd house, and Jupiter at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 11th house. These two planets, the greatest benefits are creating a harmonious positive aspect between each other and between your 3rd and 11th house. So it could be that for some of you Leos, you may gain more clarification and have more optimism when it comes to your dreams and goals for the future with this transit. Venus here in the 3rd house is allowing you to be more joyful and pleasant to be around, to be more charming, more approachable, to be able to relate with other people more in a more easier way, but also pleasant way and relatable way. And this allows you to expand in your 11th house matters. You could expand your circles with this transit, your circle of friends, your acquaintances. You can do some networking, or you could just realign yourself with your long-term dreams and goals that you have for the future. Venus in the 3rd house can also talk about optimism in your thinking process, because the 3rd house is the house of thoughts. And so you may decide to be more patient with yourself with this transit and take things a bit easier with more joy, more optimism for the future. The 3rd house is also the house of younger siblings, so it could be that a younger sibling has some kind of communication, a heart-to-heart communication with you with this transit, and it just makes you feel very joyful and happy and grateful of, if you have a younger sibling. The 3rd house is the house of a small business also, so if you happen to have one, then it could be that something good happens in your business that brings you more optimism and lets you accomplish something in your long-term dreams and goals. Jupiter in the 11th house, again, is trying to expand your horizons when it comes to your long-term dreams and goals for the future. The 3rd house is also the house of short distance travels. So it could be that at this time you might be accomplishing some short distance travel that you have been wanting to do for a while with this transit. Now the trine aspect is a subtle one. The energy here flows so easily, and so to get the best out of this transit, you should take some action, because we usually take trines for granted. We just let them fill us with joy and we don't even notice them. But if you want to get a result out of this transit, then make sure to take some action associated with your 3rd and 11th house matters. Moving on to September 17, we have the famous eclipse in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees. And this eclipse is conjunct Neptune. For you, it is happening in your 8th house. And this can talk about maybe deceit, lies, and confusion being exposed with this eclipse. Eclipses are quite unpredictable in nature. They are like full moons and steroids, so they could go both ways. But there could be some confusion being removed here associated with your shared resources and finances that you have with a partner or with a family member. The opposite way could also happen, to where there's a cloud, there's a fog being put here in your shared resources and finances, to where you don't clearly see what's happening with them. The 8th house is also the house of fears and self-sabotaging patterns, and the eclipse here could really remove a fear, a trauma that you may have had in the past, and Neptune in the higher octave is the planet of healing, of compassion, of like magical healing. You know, it's a planet that is connected to the source. It rules Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac. So this can talk about healing within yourself when it comes to self-sabotaging patterns, fears that you may have in the past. But again, the opposite could also happen too. Some confusion, some fear could show up in your life associated with you know, with your past traumas also, and something that could be happening that just gets you confused. But doing so in the subconscious mind, because the 8th house is the house of the subconscious mind. The 8th house is also the house of other people's money. It could be that this eclipse again exposes a partner's money, or your money that maybe you have not showed before that you have, or it could be them. This eclipse could bring this to the attention, or it could be the other way around, to this, where this eclipse hides things from you or hides things from them, and could add some confusion. Now Saturn is also in this house. It is 10 degrees away from this eclipse, and the effects of Saturn could also be felt with this eclipse. It could be that some blockage, some obstacle is removed from your life during this eclipse associated with your 8th house matters, or it could be that there is some maturity, some practicality and stability that needs to be put in place with this eclipse. So when we have the next eclipse in Pisces, that's when we're going to feel Saturn the most. However, Saturn is still transiting here, and it is still at a square with Jupiter, so we might feel the effects of it with this eclipse. But again, this could remove or add obstacles in your 8th house matters. What I like about this eclipse though is that it's receiving positive aspects from Uranus in Taurus, which is sitting in your 10th house, and also from Pluto in Capricorn, which is sitting in your 6th house. So it could be that there is some support here being received from your job. You may be able to make money. You may be able to transform in the way how you communicate with your coworkers during this eclipse, or it could be that your daily routines let you or allow you to have these drastic changes that the eclipse is bringing into your life associated with your 8th house matters. And then on the other hand, Uranus and Taurus in your 10th house can talk about support from authority figures in your life to be able to have this new beginning in your shared resources and finances. If you are looking or acquiring a loan or some type of funding, I know actually somebody that is having this that has a Leo moon. This eclipse could bring an approval of funding, of a loan, of maybe a mortgage, a business funding also. Or it could be that something very surprising happens and there's confusion here and deceit that could be exposed maybe to documentation associated with it. Now again, of course, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just like a general astrology reading, but that could be a possibility for some of you. But this is what I have for you, Leos, for this month. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Virgos, Virgo suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology predictions. Virgos, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in your sign at 11 degrees in your 1st house. This new moon is opposing Saturn sitting in Pisces in your 7th house at 16 degrees. This talks about important and necessary new beginnings associated with your personality, with your identity, with your physical body, how you want to identify, how you want other people to see you and recognize you as. However, there could be some challenges that could show up here from your partner if you have a business partner or a romantic partner. It could be that this partner is asking for maturity from you. It could be that they are asking for practicality. Maybe they want you to spend more time with them, or they want you to just appear more mature. For others of you, it could be that there is a partner that literally challenges you or causes delays in this kind of reinvention that you're doing for yourself, for your identity and your physical body. For others of you, it could be that maybe there's just an authority figure that could be challenging you, that is asking you to build some type of structure in your life, some type of grounding and stability, so that you can have this long-lasting reinvention when it comes to your personality, identity, and also your physical body. This new moon could also highlight the possibility of a partner literally just blocking you in expressing yourself freely, unfortunately. If you don't have a partner, then this can talk about contracts and agreements that you have in place that are somehow limiting you in having, or simply delaying you in having this first house new moon. Now, for others of you, the seventh house is the house of open enemies. So it could be that they are somehow blocking you in being able to express yourself freely in your identity, again, in your physical body and what you want to be known into the world. The other important thing about this new moon, Virgos, is that it's happening in an angular house. So it could be very well triggering your family dynamics, your career, and public reputation. It could be that the challenges here could come from a family member. If you are in a partnership with a family member, that they could be the ones challenging you or causing delays in this new beginning. It could also be that an authority figure in your career, in your work, could again be blocking you or could delaying things for you with this new beginning in the first house. Now, this does not mean that there are just going to be blockages. It could just mean that there could be delays because some structures need to be put in place. This new moon is putting a spotlight in things that are maybe not as functional in your lives, especially associated again with your partnerships, and also in your 4th house and 10th house matters. And this friction here is important for you to understand what you need to be grounding on, what you need to be more practical on, build some type of structure, be more realistic also, and face reality at face value the way how it is. Now, on this same day, Mars in Gemini in your 10th house is creating a square to Neptune in Pisces in your 7th house. Again, we have activation of angular houses for your Virgos. This is very important for you. And it could be that you may feel very driven to literally push forward when it comes to your career and public reputation and your mission in your life. However, there could be some confusion, some deceit that could be happening from a partner. Again, it could be a romantic partner or a business partner. And if you don't have a partner at all, it could be that there are some contracts or agreements in place that don't make you comfortable, that could be clouding you in the steps that you want to take associated with your career and public reputation. Mars in the 10th house could also cause some friction and irritation with an authority figure in your life. Be careful again from deceits, from lies, with Neptune in the 7th house of one-on-one communications and one-on-one partnerships with others. Now, moving forward, from September 4th to September 9th, Mercury, your chart ruler, is going to be in Leo in your 12th house. However, it's going to create a tense aspect to Uranus in Taurus in your 9th house. Before I go forward, I just want to tell you, be patient, because there are also good aspects this month. Because I feel like, I started it with the new moon, and it is quite important for you, but I promise that there are also good stuff happening. But moving with this aspect, with Mercury, your chart ruler, in Leo, can talk about some friction that could be happening behind the scenes, associated with your belief systems or with some mentor that you have in your life. Maybe there's some surprising turnarounds here associated with belief systems, the way how you think things are, but how they are actually in reality. It could be that you have clashes with a mentor in your life, or it could be that you have clashes with somebody behind the scenes associated with your belief systems. And Uranus in the 9th house is also talking about maybe sudden need to address legal matters that again could be happening behind the scenes. Now, if you are in higher education, there could be something sudden that needs to be addressed again behind the scenes, even associated with foreign lands. If you are studying abroad, that needs to be addressed during this time with the square. Squares are not scary. They sometimes just ask for action. And I don't know if I've said this in other videos. To be honest, the most wonderful things that have happened in my life have happened during square transits. I promise. They haven't been easy, but I've received wonderful results. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid of squares. And here, Mercury is your chart ruler. So it could be that you could be the initiator of this tension here in your 12th house. It could be that maybe you are wanting to work in a project behind the scenes, but maybe your belief system is not letting you. Or it could be that you want to travel abroad, but maybe there is a language barrier in the middle. It could also be that you may be focused on spirituality, on prayer, meditation, religion, and things like that, but some belief system is not sitting well with these practical steps you want to take in your spirituality and 12th house matters. Mercury also rules your 10th house, so this can also be maybe an authoritative figure that you could have some disagreements with related to your belief systems. Maybe they think differently about something and you think differently about the same thing, and you don't come into agreement with each other. It could also be that you may be addressing projects behind the scenes associated with your career and also public reputation and your mission that you have in this life. However, again, there's friction here. There's belief systems that are challenged, and you need to change the perspective of certain things to be able to move forward with Mercury here. On September 15, now moving forward, we have the beautiful aspect I promised that you're going to have. And we have Venus at 20 degrees in the sign of Libra in your second house. It's going to be trine Jupiter, which is at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 10th house. So now we have this beautiful positive communication between your financial houses, between your second house and also the 10th house of career and public reputation. For some of you, you may really be able to have a raise, like an increase in your personal income, in your finances with this transit. It could also be that you are finally getting along with a boss, with an authority figure. It could be that you are confident enough to get the spotlight at work, to expand in your career, in your public reputation, and the mission that you feel like you have in this life. With this beautiful transit, with the benefics coming together in such good houses for you, it can talk about increased self-confidence, increased gratitude for your possessions, or just increased possessions. You could buy more things and pleasant things and beautify yourself to increase your self-confidence and the way how you want to look and, you know, to be seen in the world. The 10th house, where Jupiter is sitting at, is the most seen house, is how other people perceive you. Venus rules your 9th house, so you can get some recognition with your belief systems during this transit. It could be that you feel comfortable expressing them freely, and it could be that you feel very self-confident in expressing them and believing them the way how they are, but also in expressing them to other people around you. Jupiter rules your 4th and your 7th house, so it could be that a partner is supporting you at this time on this day with some career matter. It could be that a family member is doing the same thing, or it could just be that you feel emotionally safe to express yourself and get the spotlight in your career, public reputation, and in your mission in your life. You know, not all of you are working, so if you're not working, if you don't have a career, then this could be a spotlight that you're getting from other people that know you. Again, the 10th house is the most visible house of the chart. On September 25, we have an eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees in your 7th house. The ruler of this eclipse is Neptune, and Neptune is conjunct the eclipse. It's only 3 degrees away from it. So this is also a very important eclipse. It is receiving positive aspects from Uranus in Taurus in your 9th house, and also from Pluto in Capricorn in your 5th house. So for you Virgos, this can talk about a partner that can show up in your life. Now, eclipses are quite unpredictable in nature. They are like full moons in steroids. They either add karmic things into our lives or completely remove them. And this eclipse could mean that a partner is being added to your life or a partner is being removed from your life. And the consequences or the effects of this eclipse don't have to happen on this day. They could happen up to 6 months after the eclipse. So keep that in mind. Things could be happening slowly. But there could also be deceits exposed here with this eclipse. There could be lies and confusions being exposed here with Neptune. It could also be for some of you Virgos, if you have a partner, they could also get sick during this time. So please make sure to check out on them and maybe take care of them and help them. Neptune here is the planet of compassion. After all, it's good to help other people in difficult situations, especially if they are sick. This eclipse could also talk about blockages being removed from your life, because Saturn is also in this house during this eclipse. It is 10 degrees away, but the Saturnian influences could also be felt with this transit. So there could be some blockages being removed, some obstacles related to partnerships, to maybe achieving a partnership, maybe taking a relationship to the next level. Or it could be that some obstacles show up and you need to address them. You need to become more practical and take necessary steps so that you can establish some kind of partnership in your life. And again, this could be a romantic one or a business partnership. Now, if you are not in a partnership at all, this can talk about collaborations, contracts, and agreements being put in place here. Again, be careful with deceits, with Neptune being involved in this eclipse. Make sure to triple check and double check if you get any agreements, any kind of contracts during this time. And this again could talk about this deceits and lies being removed from your life associated with maybe some contract or agreement. So again, it could go both ways. It could also be that some kind of obstacle is being removed with this transit, with this eclipse, associated with contracts and agreements, or the need to take some more practical steps associated with them could also show up. So again, with the eclipse, it could go both ways. But this is what I have for you, Virgos, for the month of September. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with my video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Libras, Libra suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology predictions for the 12 zodiac signs. Libras, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees in your 12th house, which is opposing Saturn in Pisces, sitting at 16 degrees in your 6th house. For a lot of you Libras, you may have this strong desire to travel and go to foreign lands, to go somewhere, even maybe reside somewhere foreign. However, there are daily routines here, daily responsibilities that could get on the way. For a lot of you, you may even want to go on a vacation, retreat from the world, go spend time by yourself or with a partner. But again, your daily routines are weighting you down. There could be responsibilities, things that you need to address with Saturn in the 6th house that could prevent you from doing so, or they could delay things a little bit associated with this new moon. The 12th house is also the house of your mental health. So it could be that you want to have a new beginning associated with these things, with taking care of your, mental health, of your mind. But there could be health issues that get on the way that you need to address first in your physical body, in the way how you eat, in the way how you work out, your daily routines that you do to take care of your physical body. Saturn here wants you to build maturity and strength and structures associated with your physical health. Now, the 12th house where this new moon is happening is also the house of spirituality, connecting to other dimensions, praying to God. Is the house of doing yoga, of having some spiritual routines in place. So for a lot of you, you may want to implement these new beginnings associated with it, but it could be that, again, maybe daily stresses or having to be addressing multiple things in your day-to-day life, or just at work you feel stressed, or you have just a lot of things to address, a lot of projects in hand, maybe very busy on your day-to-day life that do not give you that peace of mind to be able to pursue your spiritual routines the way that you want them to. Now, it doesn't mean that this new beginning is not going to happen. It could just mean that maybe there are some obstacles or some maturity that needs to happen here, some structures that need to be put in place with this opposition to Saturn. You may have the need to, do a schedule, do a planner, take a practical approach associated with your 6th house matters, so that you can have the new beginning that you want in your 12th house matters. On the same day, Mars in Gemini in your 9th house is squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 6th house. And this can talk about having this need and desire to explore different cultures, maybe different belief systems. But again, there are daily things that you need to be addressing. There could even be some confusion here with Neptune in your 6th house. You maybe don't feel very clear on what you need to address on your day-to-day life, on your daily routine, so that you can remove obstacles associated with 9th house matters. You can have or satisfy that Mars that wants you to explore new things, that wants you to learn new things, maybe go on foreign trips, foreign travels, have the right documentation to go to foreign lands, or even be able to learn a foreign language with this transit. So Neptune in the 6th house could bring some confusion, but in a tense aspect to Mars, there is action that needs to be taken here so that the confusion and the illusions are removed, and you can satisfy that Mars that gives you that drive and passion to, improve your belief systems, explore them, feel passionate about expressing them, feel passionate about meeting people from different backgrounds, different cultures, or having to deal even with legal matters with Mars being in the 9th house here. Now, moving forward, on the very next day, September 4th, we have Venus, your ruler, in conjunction to the South Node in your 1st house. And this can talk about maybe karmic situations showing up in your life on this day. And again, this does not have to be on the bad side. Karma sometimes is good. We do good things, good deeds, and they manifest in a different shape and form into our lives later on. And this could be one of those days for a lot of you Libras. Sorry, there's like a helicopter passing nearby. But this may talk about going back to old situations with this conjunction, but to where you maybe feel more on the peaceful side associated with them. It could also be that you run into old lovers, old romantic partners during this time, maybe to come into closures with them, or to address something that's associated with your identity and who you are as a person. You may meet somebody that you again used to have feelings for during this transit, but to where maybe you also talk about fears and insecurities that popped out maybe in the past associated with this person or this situation, with Venus being your 8th house ruler. This can also talk about maybe receiving some kind of financial reward, with Venus being the planet of finances, and the South Node being that point in the sky that brings past situations. You could very well receive some financial rewards from your past life deeds or things that you have done in the past in this lifetime that could really improve your identity, your personality. You may feel more confident. There's something pleasant happening here. There's something beautiful happening here for a lot of you Libras. And again, Venus is your ruler. It is in your own house and it's strong in your sign. So I feel like this day is on the positive side. There's something good happening here, some rewards you're receiving when it comes to your romantic life, when it comes to your physical body, also your personal finances. It could take the shape and form of different things for you. And again, there could be also fears that could be popping up maybe from your past lifetimes, or just from your past in this life, with Venus being the ruler of your 8th house of insecurities and fears. They could be popping up here in your personality, in your identity. So keep that in mind. If something pops out of nowhere from your past, just know that you have this transit going on, and maybe it is good to have this so that you can heal and take a more positive approach of these things, of these past life matters, or past deeds that you might have done in your life with this transit. On September 15, Venus, your ruler again, is sitting at 20 degrees in your sign, in your 1st house, in a trine to Jupiter in Gemini in your 9th house. And Gemini is at 20 degrees also. I absolutely love this, Libras. this is a beautiful thing. We have the two benefics connecting together from some of the most positive houses. The ninth house in ancient astrology is the house of good karma, actually. And Jupiter is sitting here giving you rewards from your past deeds, maybe rewarding you when it comes to your belief systems. You have that quick mind or that openness to exploring new cultures, and also different belief systems in your life, strengthening them, doing research work, making your life better because of the things that you learn, but also meeting new people, learning new languages, or doing foreign travels and going abroad. Now, these two planets connecting in such a beautiful way with each other can talk about feeling very comfortable in your own skin, into being able to express your belief systems or learning and absorbing new things in your life. It can talk about feeling comfortable in your physical body, in the way how you look, in the way how you come into the world, and the way how other people see you. There's a lot of pleasantness happening here. If you have any legal matters, then this positive aspect could bring some positivity, could bring some good things. Some things could turn into a favor for you with this transit, and it's just great. But please remember to take action, because trines are so subtle. The energy flows so easily that sometimes we take it for granted and we don't take the right actions. So if you want to have positive results associated with your first and ninth house matters during this time, please make sure to take the right actions. And we talked in the beginning about this need for a lot of you Libras to maybe travel abroad, for example. But with this transit in September 15th, if you have done the applications or have done the have put the finances aside to make it happen, then this transit could bring some good things your way if you have taken the actions. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to take the action with the trines. Now, moving forward into September 25, your section Libras is already longer than the others that I've done so far. But on September 25, we have an important eclipse in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees, and it's happening with Neptune, and at a way wider degree with Saturn. The eclipse is happening again at 25 degrees, and Saturn here is sitting at 15 degrees, whereas Neptune at 28 degrees, all in the sign of Pisces. And for you, it's happening in your 6th house. Now, what I really love about this eclipse, before I start to analyze it, is that it's receiving positive sextiles from Uranus in Taurus in your 8th house, but also from Pluto in Capricorn in your 4th house. I like this new eclipse. This can talk about responsibilities that are coming your way when it comes to your 6th house matters. It could be that this eclipse could be either bringing new responsibilities in your day-to-day job, in your daily routines, or it could be that they are removing them. This eclipse could very much remove some responsibilities, and hopefully you have more time to have fun and do all these other things that you wanted to do during the month of September that I talked about. The eclipse has, it could go in different directions. It's like a full moon in steroids, so it's quite unpredictable. But it could mean that you could remove something from your life, or it could bring something into your life. So this is the 6th house of your physical health. So keep in mind, if you keep in mind that this eclipse could bring some health issues, or it could just remove them to where you are liberated from them. And with Neptune here being the ruler of this eclipse, and also being so close to it, in a conjunction, it could mean that for a lot of you Libras, there is even confusion being removed from your life when it comes to your 6th house matters. When it comes to your daily routines, to your projects, to your job, to the errands that you need to run on a daily basis, to taking care of your physical health, doing the right workout that you need to do to take care of your body. It could also be that this eclipse brings more optimism, on the other hand, more joy and excitement to accomplish some responsibilities, and doing so in a very mature way. Now, again, let's not forget Saturn is pretty close here to this eclipse, and it could mean that it could bring maybe obstacles, for some of you. Again, the eclipse can go both ways. It could bring obstacles, or it could remove obstacles associated with your sixth house matters. Again, associated with your job, your daily routines, your business, or your physical health, and even your co-workers and people that you work with on a daily basis. But I feel like this eclipse, this full moon eclipse, is hopefully more on the positive side. There are completions happening here. It is a full moon after all, but with these good aspects that are coming from Uranus and Pluto, from your house of transformation and your fourth house matters, it could be that maybe you're receiving the support to have this drastic changes with the eclipse. Eclipses bring drastic changes associated with your sixth house matters. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, Libras, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to show some support, to give it a like, and to subscribe. Hello, dear Scorpio, Scorpio suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology predictions. Scorpios, we start the month on September 3rd with a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees in your 11th house, which is in fact opposing Saturn in Pisces, which is sitting at 16 degrees in your 5th house. There are some new beginnings that you may be wanting to have associated with your long-term dreams and goals for the future, Scorpios. However, there could be some blockages or challenges that can come up, especially with one of your children, if you have children. There could be something in their life to where it has you to slow down and maybe help them or even mature about something associated with your children. The 5th house, where Saturn is sitting on, is also the house of creativity and artistic abilities. It may be that you really want to achieve something in the long run. However, there could be a possibility of feeling a little blocked when it comes to expressing yourself in your creative and artistic abilities. The 5th house is also the house of romance, of people that we date, people that we flirt with, and it could be that you want to be achieving something new. You want to have something, some new beginning associated with your long-term dreams and goals. However, there could be some romantic person in your life that brings some challenges to your self-expression, even in the way how you entertain, the way how you have fun in your life. So there is some maturity that needs to happen here before we can have this new beginning in the 11th house for you, Scorpios. The 11th house is also the house of your friends and acquaintances, and maybe some of you really want to have a new beginning with a friend, with a group of friends. However, there are some challenges somehow in your 5th house matters that could delay this new beginning. It does not mean that it's not going to happen. It just could mean that we need maybe to be a bit more practical before we have this new beginning associated with our friends and acquaintances with this new moon. And Saturn could bring again delays. Maybe it needs some more maturity, some more practicality, setting up schedules maybe to where we know what we are going to do on our day-to-day life to be able to express this 5th house matters, to reap the rewards of this new moon in the 11th house. And lastly, the 11th house is the house of social media, of people that know us through technology. It could be all the social media that you use, and for some of you Scorpios, you really want to have some new beginnings associated with it, but again, Saturn in the 5th house is not letting you be flexible in expressing your creativity. There's something that could be happening even in your inner world too, where you feel more mature and you don't feel as inspired to express your creativity. And Saturn in the 5th house again is not that easy, because the 5th house is really the joy of life. This is where we feel happy. This is where we entertain ourselves. And Saturn here, transiting here is really asking you, Scorpios, to build some kind of foundation, the way how you entertain yourself, to be a bit wiser in the way how you have fun, in the people that you choose to entertain yourself with, but also in your creative abilities, in the way how you flirt with others, in your romantic life, and also with your children if you happen to have children. On this same day, Mars, which is your ruler, is in Gemini in your 8th house, and it's creating a square to Neptune in Pisces in your 5th house. Mars here in your 8th house could go in two different ways. You may be feeling very driven and passionate to remove some self-sabotaging patterns and fears that you may have about your life and about yourself. However, Neptune in the 5th house could be bringing some confusion to where you're not really sure how to express yourself. You're not really sure how maybe to even express your darker side through creativity and artistic abilities. It could also be that there is some attention being put here in shared resources and finances that you have with somebody in your life to where you maybe need to help a child again, with the new moon also happening in the 11th house and Saturn in the 5th. But there's some confusion. You're not sure maybe how to help your child. You're not sure what is going on with them. You're not sure how to use your shared resources and finances to help this individual. And lastly, it could be that there's some confusion with a romantic person, somebody that you could be flirting with. It could be that you feel ready to express yourself sexually with this person, with the 8th house being the house of sexuality. However, there's some confusion. Maybe that's not what that person wants, and so you're not really sure here on how to express yourself with this person. There's some friction being created here with the square. Now, moving forward, on September 5th, we have Mars, your ruler, entering Cancer in your 9th house, and it's going to be here in the entire month of September. Mars also rules your 6th house, so it could be that for a lot of you Scorpios, you are maybe diving into researching the heck out of anything you are really interested in. It could be that you are, going on the internet, maybe sleeping a bit later, and just trying to learn about different belief systems that you have, things that you are interested in. And it could also be things associated with your physical body, with your physical health. It could be about the, workout routines, about transforming your life. It could be about maybe facilitating your day-to-day life, becoming more efficient in the way how you live. So for a lot of you, you could be feeling very driven with this transit of Mars in your 9th house to change the perspective that you have on your life. It could also be that you may be feeling driven to travel internationally, or it could be that you may be exploring foods, alimentation of different cultures to try to nurture your body, through different vitamins and things like that. And the 9th house is also the house of foreign languages. So for some of you, it could be that you really want to learn something new with foreign languages. And it is also the house of legal matters. So again, some of you could have your focus shifted on some type of legal matters. Now, Mars in Cancer does not feel comfortable. It is in its fall. However, what I like about this transit is that from September 10th to 15th, Mars is going to create a sextile to Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury is quite strong in Virgo. It is in its domicile. So you may very well have some mental clarity when it comes to your long-term dreams and goals that are associated with your 9th house matters. Mercury is letting you keep your goal in your mind while you're doing all this research work, while you're being focused on all of these 9th house matters that I mentioned. So keep in mind, Mars and Mercury are in good aspects from September 10 to 15. And for example, if you really want to travel internationally, if you have, let's say, a visa interview, you could really have the right words to say with this transit. Mars gives the determination, and Mercury gives that clarity, that mental clarity, especially in the sign of Virgo. Now, on September 15, Venus is going to be sitting at 20 degrees in Libra in your 12th house in a positive trine aspect to Jupiter at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 8th house. And this is wonderful when it comes to healing, Scorpios. I know that a lot of you are going through a lot of things, but this transit could really give you the opportunity to let go, to accept, to surrender, to maybe face the inner shadows, but doing so not like in a painful way. maybe coming into good terms with certain fears, certain self-sabotaging patterns, and wanting to heal from them, wanting to transform and take on a new journey for yourself. And again, that is because the 8th house of self-sabotaging patterns and fears and the shadow side is connecting with the 12th house of healing, of other dimensions, of God, of the universe, of spirituality. A lot of you have the opportunity to heal from something very important, something traumatic that could have happened in your life with this transit. To have two benefics connect together is just great. However, there is a need for action here. This is a trine, and trines are very subtle. The energy flows so easily and so well that sometimes we take it for granted. So if you really want to get good results from this transit when it comes to healing self-sabotaging patterns and fears and things like that, then please take action, do something, so that you can get the best out of this transit. The 8th house is also the house of shared resources. So if you want healing when it comes to shared resources, even earning from foreign lands, then take some action with this transit. For a lot of you, you could get something really good out of this. The 8th house is also the house of other people's money. So if you are in any industries that deal with other people's money, such as advising, consultations, taxes, insurances, things like that, then there could be a possibility to earn some money behind the scenes to make some pleasant connections with clients behind the scenes also with this transit. And lastly, on September 25, there is an eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees. And this eclipse is with Neptune. The ruler of the eclipse is Neptune, and Neptune is also sitting only 3 degrees away from this eclipse. This is very important. This eclipse is receiving positive aspects from Uranus and Taurus in your 7th house, and also from Pluto and Capricorn in your 3rd house. However, eclipses are very unpredictable. So what could this mean for you, Scorpios? With this eclipse in your 5th house of fun and entertainment and children, it could be that some responsibility or some confusion is being removed from your life when it comes to one of your children. It could also be that maybe some sickness that one of your children could have had disappears with this eclipse, and the effects of it are not necessarily felt on the day. They can be felt for up to 6 months with this eclipse. It could also be that there is some confusion that is removed when it comes to a romantic partner. We talked about feeling confused with somebody that you could have feelings for, but this eclipse could very well remove that confusion, remove any doubts, any manipulations, could remove lies and deceits associated with somebody to have a better understanding, a clearer understanding about this person. And now let's not forget that Saturn is also very close to this eclipse. I mean, not very close, it's 10 degrees away, but the Saturn here could give you that clarity that you really need when it comes to your 5th house matters. And it could also be that you could gain clarity when it comes to your creative and artistic abilities. Neptune is the planet of out of this world kind of creativity, and so it could really bring you the right inspiration with this eclipse. However, as I said, eclipses are quite unpredictable, so the opposite side of all these things could happen. If you have any children, be careful to take care of them, of their physical body, of their health, because Neptune could bring sicknesses for them. Make sure to be careful with romantic partners, because Neptune could bring deceit. So it could go in both ways, because eclipses are like full moons in steroids. They are quite unpredictable. However, it is receiving support. We can't deny that it's receiving support from Uranus in your 7th house, from Pluto in your 3rd house. For a lot of you, you have the communication here. You could have some support, which could be surprising from a partner when it comes to these eclipses in your 5th house. However, again, they're still unpredictable, and being so close to Neptune, we don't really know how it could go, but this could be the possibilities for a lot of you Scorpios. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Sagittarius, Sagittarius Suns, Moons and Risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology prediction. Sagittarius, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees in your 10th house, and it's opposing Saturn sitting in Pisces at 16 degrees in your 4th house. This is quite of an important new moon for you, Sagittarius, because it's activating angular houses. It's activating the 10th house, the 4th, but also your 1st and 7th house. This new moon can talk about new beginnings that you want to initiate in your career, public reputation, in the mission that you have in your life, in your public status, but also how you are known in the world. However, the opposition with Saturn can indicate that there could be an authoritative figure in your household that is causing delays when it comes to these new beginnings. There could be somebody in your family, a family member, but also maybe your family dynamic, people that you live with, that could be limiting you in achieving this new beginning in your career, public reputation, and public status. Now, this does not mean that this new beginning cannot happen. It could only be that there are delays. And Saturn here wants you to be practical and create boundaries, but also stability and structure when it comes to your 4th house matters, so that you can achieve this new beginning in your public status, career, and public reputation. It could also be that this new beginning is associated with your identity, who you are as a person and how you want other people to see you. Or it could be that you may even feel that you want to have some kind of initiation and new beginning in your partnerships with others. Now, for others of you Sagittarius, Saturn here in the 4th house could indicate that there is a need also for stability and structure, not only in your household, but maybe in the way how you express yourself to others, in your emotional world also, and also in your partnerships and the way how you collaborate and have those one-on-one relationships with other people. Again, this new moon is in an angular house, and it's triggering all the pillars of your chart, your 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th houses. On this same day, Mars, which is in Gemini in your 7th house, is squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 4th house. This can indicate that there's some friction here with a partner or with somebody that you live with. There could be some misunderstanding, even lies that could happen with this transit that could cause a fight even. Or it could be that you may feel very driven and very passionate to start and initiate a partnership with somebody. However, there could be a family member that does not agree with it, or that could be causing some confusion in your emotional world. This square between Mars and Neptune can also talk about the need to heal some type of relationship in your family dynamics with the people that you live with your family members. Or it could just be that you want to heal and improve your emotional world so that you can take a braver and a more bold approach to your partnerships, to your one-on-one relationships with others. And when I say partnerships, of course, it can be romantic or business partners also. So there's some friction here during this new moon created in the sky. However, these squares call for action, so make sure to take the right actions, the proper actions, to be able to learn and take the necessary steps with these tense aspects during the new moon. Now, moving forward, on September 13, we have Jupiter, which is your ruler and the ruler of your 4th house, in your 7th house at 20 degrees in a tense square aspect to the Sun, which is in your 10th house. Again, we have this strong activation between your 7th house and your 10th house. There could be some disagreements here, maybe even some fights even with a partner, with a family member. It could even be related to real estate, to your home environment, or your career path that you want to be taking, or that your partner may want to be taking. And if you don't have a partner, then there could be some contract or agreement that you have in place that is somehow causing some friction when it comes to feeling comfortable expressing yourself in your home environment, the place that you live in, but also in your career, public reputation, and how you're known into the world. Now, the sun rules your ninth house, so it could be that you maybe don't have the same belief system with a family member or even with an authority figure, with the sun sitting in the 10th house of authority figures. Again, there could be some tension here, but there is also a need for action. Keep in mind that this transit is not long. It could be felt 3 days before or 3 days after September 13th. The good, beautiful, wonderful aspect that we have going on in September is on the 15th, actually happening between Venus and Jupiter. The two benefics are connecting together in the sky, and Venus is sitting in Libra in your 11th house of long-term dreams and goals for the future at 20 degrees, and Jupiter, your ruler, is sitting at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 7th house. On this day, for a lot of you Sagittarius, you could come on the same terms with a partner related to your shared long-term dreams and goals that you have for the future. You could even have some kind of wish fulfillment on this day. If you are hoping to take your relationship to the next level, to become partners, then you may very well do so on this day. It could also be that a friend is helping you get on a romantic or business partnership, or it could be that a friend is helping you enter some type of contract and agreement that is important in your life. The 11th house here can also talk about wish fulfillment, being able to achieve something that you have wanting to do. It could also be that all these beautiful things happen to a partner in your life, but of course it affects you as well, because whenever there are planets transiting the 7th house, they're also triggering your first house of identity. The 7th house is also the house of open enemies, so for some of you, you could come to good terms with somebody that maybe you were not getting along with before. Venus rules your 6th and 11th house, and Venus is quite comfortable here. It's very strong in the sign of Libra, so this day could really indicate some beautiful opportunities to have some wish come true, or to have some long-term goal accomplished, or at least some easiness when it comes to accomplishing it. It could also be that maybe you finally get along with a coworker at this time. You are able to come to good terms with them and become partners instead of, not getting along with each other. Jupiter, again, is your ruler, but also the ruler of your 4th house. So it could mean that, again, a family member is supporting you, or a partner is supporting you on this journey, on this wish fulfillment on this day. I absolutely love this transit. I am so happy we're having this after a strong month of August. But also because we're going to have the eclipse next month. And so, speaking of the eclipse, that is happening on September 25 in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees, and the ruler of this eclipse is Neptune, and Neptune is conjunct this eclipse. Neptune is sitting only 3 degrees away from it, and it is happening in your 4th house. So this could bring the need to remove some type of confusion when it comes to where you want to live, when it comes to your house, your apartment, the city that you're living in, the country that you're living in. It could be that this eclipse brings clarity. It removes the Neptunian energy from your home dynamics, your home conversations, to where you have more clarity and you know how to move forward. Now, on the opposite side, it could be that this eclipse could also bring confusion and even deception, because eclipses are quite unpredictable in nature. They could go both ways. They are like full moons in steroids, so they could go both ways. Now, Saturn is also sitting in this area of your life, in the 4th house. So it could be that this eclipse is removing some kind of obstacle in your home environment, some kind of challenge that you could have had. Or it could be that Saturn here, the opposite way, shows up with this eclipse and asks you to be more practical and more serious when it comes to your home dynamics and your real estate and your place of residence. Saturn is 10 degrees away from this eclipse. However, the effects of it could still be felt. Saturn is still transiting your 4th house. What I like about this eclipse is that it's receiving support from Uranus in Taurus in your 6th house, and also from Pluto in Capricorn in your 2nd house. So it could be that for you, Sagittarius, you may be having the financial means to be able to make some kind of move when it comes to your 4th house matters, to relocating, to fixing some relationship with a family member, to welcoming a family member in your house, or having somebody leave your house. It could be that maybe your children are enough grown up and they decide to move out, and this eclipse kind of removes a family member from your household. And so it could be that you maybe have the financial support that you can give them, and you are also able to have your daily routines in a way that support this important changes that could be happening in your 4th house matters. So there could be some completion here. This is a full moon eclipse, after all, completion in your 4th house matters, and also your emotional world, the way how you see your surroundings and the world around you. But this is what I have for you, Sagittarius, for this month. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello Capricorns, Capricorn suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology predictions. On September 3rd, Capricorns, we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees in your 9th house. This new moon is opposite Saturn, which is sitting in Pisces at 16 degrees in your 3rd house. The good thing about this new moon is that both the new moon and Saturn are sitting in signs that are in good aspects to your rising sign. So you may not be as affected as the other signs. However, this new moon talks about a desire to initiate some new beginnings associated with international travels, with foreign travels. However, Saturn in the 3rd house can indicate that there's a need to be more on the road, maybe to have more errands to go to accomplish more things, to be more on the road instead of, jumping on a flight and going somewhere. The 9th house can also be related to higher education, to educational institutions, universities also. There is a need and desire to have a new fresh start associated with some higher institution. However, it could be that maybe a skill set needs to be acquired first, some kind of certification needs to be acquired first. Saturn in the 3rd house is asking you to build your skill set in a practical and mature way. And so this new moon could be very much highlighting that need. The 9th house is also the house of mentors and gurus, people that teach us things. And it could be that you may be wanting to establish some new relationship with a mentor, with a guru. However, Saturn in the 3rd house could be limiting your thought or thinking process or your communication skills with this person, and there could be a need to mature a bit more or come across as more thoughtful before having this initiation with this person. Now, this new moon in Virgo does not mean that it's not going to happen. It could just indicate that there could be delays with the opposition to Saturn. The 9th house is the house of legal matters also, so if you need to take on a legal matter, then Saturn in the 3rd house can indicate that there is a need to think things through a bit more carefully, to be more practical, to add more documentation, to just build some type of structure associated, with these things. The 9th house is also the house of belief systems. You may be wanting to research some new things, expand your horizons, learn more things. However, Saturn in the 3rd house is making you to maybe take notes and be more careful in the way how you learn, and also be more mature when it comes to the information that you are receiving. On the same day of this new moon, we have Mars in Gemini in your 6th house, square Neptune in Pisces in your 3rd house. There could be a need to go after some responsibilities again for a lot of you Capricorns. Mars in the 6th house is giving you that drive and determination to run your errands, be quite quickly with them, get things done one after the other. However, there is some confusion here with your thinking process with Neptune in the third house in the square. It could be that you need to remove some fog, or you need to get some more clarification associated with the errands and things that you need to do in the daily basis. The sixth house where Mars is also the house of co-workers, colleagues. So if you have a job, this could indicate that you need to be more clear in your communication with your co-workers, in your projects, in your responsibilities that you have, so that you can remove potential misunderstandings or even aggravations with Mars in the sixth house. The sixth house is also the house of your physical health, your physical body, also workout routines. You may really want to maybe start a new workout routine, because you could be feeling foggy in your mind with Neptune in the third house. Or it could be that you decide to eat more foods that are healthier for your brain, but also for your throat chakra, and for your third eye, also with this transit. It could also be that you might need to help a younger sibling with this transit. There is something confusing maybe going on in their life, and so you may be called to get in the car and help them out with something with Neptune, with Mars in the sixth house of service to other people, and Neptune in the third house of younger siblings. Again, there's a need to serve others here with this transit. It could feel a little hectic. There could be some misunderstandings and confusions going on with this transit. However, it should not last that long. Mars moves relatively quickly through the signs. Now, moving forward to September 4th, the very next day, Venus is going to be conjunct the South Node at 6 degrees in the sign of Libra in your 10th house. And Venus is quite strong here, quite powerful. For some of you, you may get some spotlight or some financial rewards even when it comes to your career, that you have earned it. With the South Node, it's karmic, so it comes from the work that we've put in. And karma does not mean a bad thing. It could be also a good thing with this transit. This can also talk about coming across as more charming, more delightful in your career, in your public reputation, in the way how other people see you with this transit. This can also bring back maybe people that you had some kind of romantic feelings towards, that could even be authority figures for some of you. Or it could be that somebody in your career that you had cooperation before shows up in your life, and you have some kind of interaction together. But this can be an interaction that is quite visible, that other people can see it. For others of you Capricorns, this can just talk about financial rewards and also recognition in a very charming, exciting way when it comes to your career, public reputation, but also your status with this transit. Venus also rules your 5th house of fun and entertainment, and also romantic life. So I feel like, again, you could have some type of reconnection, maybe with an old partner at in the place where you do your career, and even in a way that other people see it. You could just go back to an old partner, and this can be an old partner from this life. This could be a reconnection from past lives, if you believe in past life. On September 15, we have this beautiful, wonderful aspect between Venus at 20 degrees in Libra in your 10th house, and Jupiter at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 6th house. These two planets, the greatest benefics, are coming together in a trine, in a positive aspect. And for you, it's happening in your career aspects of your life. And I feel like that's amazing news for you Capricorns, knowing that you care a lot about your career and public reputation. So this can talk about recognition and expansion when it comes to the work that you've put into your job, your career, your public status, the way how other people know you. This can talk about expansion in your responsibilities in the way that it makes you look more charming, look more pleasant to be around, more intelligent, just more nicer to be around, and even more diplomatic. Venus is very strong here in the sign of Libra, and even for that transit with Venus conjunct the South Node, Venus is very strong, is in its domicile. So for a lot of you Capricorns, I could definitely see a lot of you getting some recognition here, coming across as very charming, very, very delightful, very nice to be around. This can also talk about expansion of responsibilities again, but in a way that it's going to benefit your career and public reputation. Now, if you're not working, this can talk about expansion in your daily tasks, having to run errands, but doing so in a way that somehow elevates your status. It makes you look more wealthy, it makes you look more luxurious, even more good looking for one way or another. And speaking of the good looking part, the sixth house where Jupiter is sitting on is the house of our physical body, our physical health. So it could be that maybe some health routine that you have been putting in place, or workout routine, could be having some wonderful results for some of you Capricorns, to where you are looking more beautiful, more good looking to the other people, and it's quite visible. You might even receive compliments with this transit. Now, the trine is a very subtle energy. We usually take it for granted. It's not as intense as squares are. So if you want to get benefits in your 10th and 6th houses, make sure to take action with this transit, with this aspect, because it could be very easy to get results out of this. And again, the results could come so easily that we take it for granted. So make sure to do something if you want to get something out of this. Now, moving to the eclipse on September 17, we have the eclipse, the full moon eclipse in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees specifically, and it's going to be conjunct Neptune in your 3rd house. So eclipses are tricky. They are unpredictable. They are erratic. They're like full moons as steroids. You can't really predict the outcome of it, but they are very karmic in nature because they are associated with the nodes. So what this can talk about, this is it's connected to the north node. So this can talk about some type of confusion being removed from your mind here with this transit. It could be that for a lot of you, you have this fog being removed from your mind, from your head. And the ruler of the eclipse is Neptune. Neptune is conjunct the eclipse. So again, there could even be deceits and lies removed from your life one way or another that gives you mental clarification. Now again, the opposite could also happen, to where some lies and fogginess just shows up in your life in the way how you talk to other people. And for some of you, it could really be connected to maybe a younger sibling with this eclipse. This can also talk about confusion being removed when it comes to a small business, if you have one, or some fogginess added to it, where you don't understand how to take a certain approach when it comes to it. The 3rd house is also the house of short distance travel. So it could be that you may take on this short distance travel that comes out of nowhere, but that could be very healing in nature with Neptune being here. Very healing, very positive. It could give you optimism. It could give you a deeper understanding of life while you are on this trip. Or the other way around, to where maybe you see things or experience things that just make you a bit more confused when it comes to the way how you think and how you look at the world, and also how you talk to yourself, your inner side. I hope this is not too abstract, but with Neptune here in the 3rd house, I want you Capricorns to be extra careful with your mental health. Neptune sometimes brings sicknesses, so it could be that, if you've been dealing with a mental sickness that is associated with your mind, then this eclipse could completely remove it from your life, or it could add something. That's why you need to be extra careful with your mind during this time. Neptune in the higher octave is quite optimistic, is very compassionate, very joyful. So this eclipse could bring you that skill of being very compassionate when you talk to others, and loving and caring towards them. Or the other way around, to where you become more firm and more assertive in the way how you communicate with other people. And Saturn, your ruler, is also in this house during this eclipse. It's 10 degrees away from this eclipse. On the next one that we're going to have in Pisces, you might feel it like way more than this one. However, There could be obstacles being highlighted here in your third house matters, obstacles removed or added with this eclipse. And there could also be a need for maturity and structure when it comes to your communication style, the way how you think about yourself, the way how you think about life, but also in your short distance travels, certifications that you're taking, skill set that you need to do during this time. What I like about this eclipse is that it's receiving positive aspects from Uranus in your 5th house and Pluto in your 1st house. So there's definitely here a chance for transformation, for becoming stronger mentally. But again, eclipses could go both ways, so be very careful with your thinking process and also your mental health. But this is what I have for you, Capricorns, for this month. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Aquarius, Aquarius Sun, Moons, and Risings. Welcome to September 2024 astrology predictions. Aquarius, on September 1st, we have Uranus, your ruler, going retrograde in your 4th house, in the trine to Pluto in your 12th house, and sextile to Neptune in your 2nd house, which are both in retrograde. There's going to be a lot of introspection for a lot of you Aquariuses when it comes to the place that you're living, the apartment that you're living in, the house that you're living in, or the city and country that you're living in. You may be needing to reassess and re-understand if you feel comfortable in this place, if you feel self-confident to express yourself freely in the place that you're living and residing in. Your ruler, going retrograde in your 4th house can also talk about reassessing your emotional world, and in a good aspect to Neptune in your 2nd house of self-worth, again, you are reassessing and trying to understand if you feel confident enough to be living in this place, and if you feel that you can also afford it, with the 2nd house being the house of finances. So there's a lot of introspection going on for you this month. Aquarius is again associated with the place that you live in. On the other hand, the 4th house is the emotional world, so a lot of you could be just going within and trying to understand and reassess your emotions, the way how you look at the world, and the way how you feel about your life at the moment. This transit can also talk about going back maybe to your ancestry roots, trying to dig into your family tree, family history also with this transit. But generally speaking, when your ruler goes retrograde, is more of an introspection, is more of a self-reflection. And for you, again, is associated with 4th house matters. Now, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees in your 8th house. This new moon, though, is opposite Saturn in Pisces at 16 degrees in your 2nd house. So you may be wanting to have a new start, a new fresh start with shared resources and finances that you may have with a family member or with a partner. However, Saturn is asking for maturity here in your personal finances, in the way how you make money, in your budgeting style, how you spend your money also. There could be a delay here with this new moon. The 8th house is also the house of fears and self-sabotaging patterns, and Saturn could be asking you to be more practical and more mature in your self-worth, self-confidence, so that you can tackle and approach these insecurities that you may have within yourself in a more mature way, in a more stable way. The 8th house is also the house of taxes, insurances, and so you may need to take a different approach in the way how you do your taxes. But again, Saturn in the 2nd house could be telling you that maybe you are making a lot of money, or you need to be budgeting or restructuring your finances in a way that your taxes could be differently, for example. Or for insurances also, you may need to reassess your personal finances so that you can get a better insurance for yourself. You can have this fresh start associated with 8th house matters. Now, if you are in the industry of dealing with other people's money, such as advising, counseling, psychology also, this could indicate a desire and need to have a fresh start. But again, Saturn in the 2nd house is asking you to be more mature and practical in the way how you handle your personal finances and your self-confidence, your self-worth, to be more ethical maybe in your values also. Saturn is a planet of ethics, and the 2nd house is a planet of values, personal values. Now, this new beginning does not mean that it's not going to happen. There could just simply be delays and obstacles, or this new moon is just indicating that it's putting a spotlight in things that you really need to fix before you can have a new beginning in your 8th house matters. On the same day, Mars in Gemini in your 5th house is squaring Neptune in Pisces in your 2nd house. You may feel very passionate, very driven to go after a romantic partner, but Neptune in the 2nd house, it could be making you confused when it comes to your self-confidence and self-worth. It could also be that you may need to help one of your children, if you have a child with this transit, very driven, or it could just be that the child throws a tantrum and gets angry about something, and you need to assist them financially, but there is confusion here. You may not be knowing how to really help them and take care of them during this time. The 5th house is also the house of fun and entertainment, so it could be that you may really want to have fun and go out there and enjoy your time with friends and romantic partners also. But again, Neptune in the 2nd house maybe is giving you some type of confusion to where you realize maybe you don't have as much money as you thought to entertain yourself in the way how you want to. Or it could be related to your self-worth again, to you feel a little insecure about approaching somebody during this time that you may have romantic feelings towards. Moving forward, on September 4th, Venus is going to be conjunct the South Node at 6 degrees in Libra in your 9th house. And I find this very, very beautiful, very entertaining. It could be that for a lot of you, you may meet somebody in some type of foreign travel you may be doing, or you could, somebody that you have had a relationship with before. And it doesn't mean that it is from this life. It could be also a past lover from other lives if you believe in past lives. This transit can also indicate meeting with somebody karmic that is from a different background, different culture during this time, spending maybe some time with them, or even communicating with them in a foreign language. If you know a foreign language, that could be a possibility for some of you. Now, Venus is very strong here in the sign of Libra in your 9th house. It is in its domicile. So it could be that there could be some pleasant feelings, in some kind of interaction with somebody from your past. And if it's not romantic, then this can talk about financial rewards you may be receiving from your past deeds. With this transit, maybe you've helped somebody some time ago and it comes back to you from somebody else. In a different way with this transit. So there could be financial rewards included here for some of you. Now, moving forward into September 15, I love this day. We have Venus at 20 degrees in the sign of Libra in your 9th house, trine Jupiter at 20 degrees in Gemini in your 5th house. And these two signs are in trine to your sign, Aquarius. So you might be one of the signs that is more benefited from this transit, and this may talk about being able to speak maybe with a romantic partner, expand in your romantic life with people or with somebody that is from a different background that really sparks your interest, that expands your horizons. It could be that you may be connecting with a romantic partner that challenges your beliefs, but in a positive way, because this is a trine that expands your belief system. And this could be very attractive for you, Aquarius, because you are quite intellectual in nature, and you could have some intellectual conversations with somebody during this transit. Now, if you're not in the market to find a romantic partner, then this transit can bring expansion in the way how you interact with your children if you have children. It could be that you are communicating now in a way that you understand each other, in a way you teach each other things. You kind of share your belief systems in a way that is very easy, very pleasant, and joyful for both of you. If you don't have any children, then the 5th house is the house of creativity and artistic abilities. So for some of you, Aquariuses, there could be a positive way in the way how you express your creative and artistic abilities. You may decide to use your knowledge, to use your degree, to use research work, knowledge you have accumulated throughout time to expand in your 5th house matters, to expand in your creative and artistic abilities, but doing so in a way that improves even your image, your personal image, your identity, because these two planets are also in a positive aspect to your rising sign. The fifth house is also the house of being on stage, being in the center of the attention. So if you happen to get some attention during this time, you will most likely do good. You will most likely look very put together, very articulate, very intelligent with this transit. I love this. This is wonderful. Having two benefics in such a beautiful, positive aspect to each other, but also to you, Aquarius. This is wonderful. But I do want to remind you one thing, that trines are very subtle in nature. They are very positive energy, and energy flows so easily that sometimes we take it for granted. So if you want positive results associated with your 5th and 9th house matters, you need to take action, because trines usually bring results that are not, surprising to us. They just come so easily that we're not really impressed from them. But we can only get results through action with trines. Okay, so make sure to take some action. If you like somebody, a romantic partner, talk to them during this time. And we still have that Saturn Jupiter square going on that could bring some fears, maybe obstacles, but still I believe this trine here between these two planets that are in a positive aspect to your rising sign, to your identity, and the way how you interact with others, the way how other people see you, could bring you positive results. Just make sure to take action. Venus also rules your 4th house, and it could be that you may even have conversations with somebody, or simply increase your knowledge associated with real estate, also rentals, your place of origin, your ancestry. This transit could bring that as well, but it's again going to feel a very lighthearted, very positive in general. So I really like this for you, dear Aquariuses. Now moving forward to the last important aspect of the month that I decided to talk about. On September 17, we have the famous eclipse in the sign of Pisces at 25 degrees, and this is going to be in your 2nd house. Now, eclipses are quite unpredictable in nature. They could have results both ways, to where they add something sudden into our life or they remove it. And this eclipse is going to be with Neptune. So what could be the possibilities for you, Aquariuses? One of them could be that you may be adding a stream of income to your life. You may be able to make more money with this eclipse, or it could be that a stream of income is being removed from your life. With Neptune here, it could simply talk about confusion being removed from your life when it comes to your budgeting, when it comes to the way how you make money and how you spend your money. It could be that you think that you have this amount of money in your bank and you maybe don't know where your money is going or how much you're spending. So this eclipse could lift off that confusion and that fog when it comes to your personal income. Now again, eclipses are unpredictable, so it could be the other way around, to where you don't understand, you don't know where your money is going with this transit, and there's some fog added here. Neptune on a higher octave is a planet that represents optimism and joy, and feeling blissful, feeling magical. So this eclipse could really increase your self-worth, your self-confidence with Neptune being here. You may feel more optimistic about your skills, the talents that you possess as a person. You may come across or just become more positive in general in the way how you look at yourself, again, in your self-worth and self-confidence. Or it could be that, this eclipse could bring confusion when it comes to your talents. You may really not feel sure if you can do some certain talent or not. So again, there could be some confusion happening here. Now, Saturn is also going to be in this house during this eclipse. And it's going to be 10 degrees away. So there could be obstacles being highlighted with this eclipse here. Obstacles either removed or added. We're going to feel Saturn more on the next eclipse that we're going to have in Pisces. But there could definitely be something here for some of you Aquariuses. So again, obstacles and delays could be removed associated with increased income or your self-worth, or they could be added to where it requires more maturity and practicality and stability, and taking a steady approach when it comes to how much money you're making and how much you're spending with this transit. This is what I have for you, Aquarius, for this month. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Pisces, Pisces suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your September 2024 astrology prediction. Pisces, on September 3rd, we have a new moon in Virgo at 11 degrees in your 7th house. This new moon is opposite Saturn in Pisces in your 1st house at 16 degrees. This is a very important new moon, but also an important month for you, Pisces. I feel like you are one of the signs that is the most affected from the transits happening during this month. But this new moon can talk about new beginnings that you want to initiate in your partnerships, and it could be romantic or business partnerships, or simply your one-on-one collaborations with other people, communications with other people. It could be that you really want to initiate something new, but something within you is blocking. It could be that you may be self-sabotaging this new beginning for yourself, because Saturn is sitting in the 1st house during this transit. It could even be that you feel like you're not receiving maybe the respect that you deserve from a partner, and so you are blocking some kind of new beginning with them. You are challenging them and asking them to give you that respect, because Saturn is the planet of respect and authority also. For others of you, Pisces, it could be that you may be wanting to enter an agreement, a collaboration with somebody. However, again, it could be that you are the one getting on the way, and for one reason or the other, you do not sit well with this new beginning. It could just be that you may need to take some practical steps when it comes to expressing yourself. I feel like for a lot of you, this comes down to being able to express yourself freely and authentically, and in a very mature way in these partnerships or collaborations or agreements that you may need to initiate. And it does not mean that these new beginnings won't happen. It just means that maybe there are some delays, some practical steps that need to be taken here. And this is happening in an angular house. So for a lot of you, Pisces, it could be that you also maybe want some family members to respect you, or you want to be seen in your career, your public reputation, also with your authority figures at work. So again, with Saturn in the 1st house, it could be that you are the one demanding these changes, demanding boundaries, asking for maturity and structures built around you. On this same day, Mars in Gemini in your 4th house is squaring Neptune in your 1st house in the sign of Pisces. So it could be that you may feel pushed by a family member to address maybe some confusion or even deceits that could have happened in the past. It could be that a family member is really triggering your personality, your identity, who you are as a person, and how you want to be seen by others. This friction here, this square with Mars, can even talk about maybe quarrels with a family member, or at least at home when it comes to expressing yourself freely. And with Neptune in the 1st house, it could be that you are giving off an image of yourself that maybe is not as realistic, and so it's triggering a family member to explode and express themselves, maybe through quarrels. But on the other hand, of course, that's not the scenario for all of you, Pisces. It could also be that you are trying to heal in your identity, who you are as a person, with Neptune in the 1st house. But this healing maybe does not sit well with a family member, with somebody in your life. And you may very well notice this, especially during the eclipse that I will be talking here in a minute. But these transits are triggering all of the pillars of your chart. These are aspects happening between the 1st and the 4th, but they're also triggering the 7th and the 10th house. So any kind of conflict that you may be having at home, maybe with a family member, could also cause conflict with a partner, or it could be that the partner, you know, that you live with is causing these things, or again, it could be that you are the initiator, you're the blocker here, again, asking for boundaries, respect, and to implement some kind of authority in your family dynamics. Now, moving forward, on September 13, Jupiter, which is your ruler, your ancient ruler, and the ruler of your 10th house, is sitting in your 4th house at 20 degrees in a tense aspect to the Sun, which is in your 7th house. So again, we have activation of the angular houses for you. This is very important for you, Pisces. I feel like you are setting some boundaries here with Jupiter sitting in your 4th house. You may be wanting to take a career direction or be known in a certain way to the world, but for some reason or another, you have to address these things at home. You have to fix something that could be happening at home, and this could very well be issues associated with expressing your identity, your personality, who you are as a person, and embracing your authenticity. There's some friction here that could be happening with a partner again, that is not letting you express yourself freely. Now, you know, you maybe don't have a partner. If you don't have one, then these are agreements and contracts that are put in place that really don't let you express yourself freely at home, or feel comfortable in your own house, or in the neighborhood that you live in, or in the city that you live in, and you really want to maybe move. Or it could be associated with your career. You really want a career change. You may want to take a different route in your life, have another mission from what you have right now, and make some changes. So there is friction, there's tension being created here with family members, a partner, and if you don't live with anybody, it could be that there are contracts in place, you know, maybe rental contracts or mortgage, things like that, that are making you stay in a place that you maybe don't feel comfortable in expressing yourself in. However, we do have good stuff happening this month too. On September 15, Venus is at 20 degrees in Libra in your 8th house, and it's creating a beautiful positive aspect to Jupiter, which is at 20 degrees in the sign of Gemini in your 4th house. I love this. Having the two benefics come together in a positive aspect is just great. It's just wonderful. For you, we can talk about shared resources and finances that you may be having with a family member. Jupiter in the 4th house wants you to expand your home dynamics, wants you to expand at home, maybe have a bigger house, maybe have a family member added here. And Venus in the 8th can indicate that, you know, this is the time. It can give you the green light with this transit. Venus here can make you feel comfortable in using shared resources to expand in your 4th house matters, or even to bring your philosophies and your belief systems in your home environment. The 8th house, where Venus is sitting in, is also the house of self-sabotaging patterns and fears and traumas from the past. And Venus here could be asking for some type of healing or coming into peace with fears from the past, so that you can have some type of expansion in your home dynamics, and you can even feel comfortable and expansive and joyful in your emotional world, because the 4th house is also the house of emotions. Now, the trines are beautiful aspects. The energy flows so easily with trines that sometimes we don't even feel it, and we sometimes take it for granted also. So please keep in mind to take some steps, to take some action when it comes to this transit, to this trine between Venus and Jupiter, so that you can potentially get the benefits of having some kind of improvement, joy, happiness in your 4th and 8th house matters. Lastly, on September 25, we have an eclipse in Pisces at 25 degrees in your 1st house. This is your eclipse, and it's the first of a few, but it's going to happen in your 1st house, and it is very close to Neptune, which is your modern ruler. Neptune is sitting only 3 degrees away from the eclipse. This talks about wanting to reinvent yourself, Pisces. you could be removing some confusion when it comes to your identity. For some of you, you could bring the real you with this eclipse into the picture, into the way how other people see you. And this eclipse is receiving some positive aspect from Uranus, the planet of shocks, which is in the sign of Taurus in your third house. So you might give some shocking, surprising communication to other people associated with your identity. You may very well give out a real you with this eclipse. This eclipse could remove the deception and illusions that you could be giving to others. Now, the other way could also happen, because eclipses are like full moons in steroids. They are not very predictable. So it could be that this eclipse maybe brings confusion into your life, to where you're not sure about who you are as a person. You're not sure maybe about your identity and how you want to come out in the world. Saturn is also sitting in your first house. It is 10 degrees away from this eclipse. So it could be that some challenges associated with your self-identification could be removed with this eclipse, or it could be that they show up to where you need to take more mature steps in expressing yourself freely to others, but also building some boundaries and structure to be able to be authentic, to be the real you when it comes to interacting and showing up in the world. And the other thing about this eclipse is that it's also receiving a positive aspect from Pluto, which for you is sitting in Capricorn in your 11th house. And Pluto is transforming here the way how you go about your long-term dreams and goals for the future. As you're trying to reinvent yourself when it comes to your identity and the way how other people want to see you, and even in your physical body, you may be keeping a long-term dream and goal that you have for the future in your mind. And so you may be, having this kind of reinvention when it comes to yourself by keeping something in mind. The thing about this eclipse is that, again, it's with Neptune, it's conjunct Neptune, so make sure you take care of your physical body. Sometimes Neptune could bring sicknesses that are not seen, and in the first house, it could be very well about your physical body. So please keep in mind that you need to take care of it, and be careful with your physical body. At the same time, again, eclipses could remove things. So this eclipse could bring the removal of some kind of sickness that you could have had, that maybe you did not put a finger on where it's coming from, but this eclipse could very well remove it from your physical body. Neptune is also the planet of compassion and hopes for the future and dreams. So it could very well be that during this eclipse you may feel like you are more optimistic for the future. You are more positive in the way how you interact with others, more positive, more hopeful, more joyful, and full of love, full of compassion with this eclipse. And the opposite could also happen too. If you have been way too compassionate with people that did not deserve, then this eclipse could kind of remove those feelings, or the feelings of victimization from your life during this time. And again, Saturn is transiting your first house here. Saturn is asking for boundaries, structure, self-respect, to make people respect you, to put some kind of authority in your life in the way how you interact with everybody around you. This is the first house, an angular house. So you want to be putting some kind of authority with your family members, your partnerships, and also your career, public reputation in the way how other people know you. So I think, we're going to have some important changes for you, Pisces, during this month. This could be one of the most important months for you for 2024. But I really hope things go well for you. Please let me know in the comments. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe.